Hey everybody, and welcome this week to Super Kiwi 64. This is another Siactro game. These are the kind of retro platformers I've been playing here recently, and this is the fourth one that I'm playing. I think here's a little map of all the ones I've played so far and in the order I've played them. And yeah, this is probably my favorite one so far. I really like it a lot. So to start off with here, we have some cutscenes for which I'll be quiet for, but I'll be back just as soon as those cutscenes are over. We are playing the DLC on this one as well. So there's the base game and then Doomsday. We'll be playing them both.
This is a story about a bird. Another grumpier bird, and a dog stuck on a flying island. It all started not too long ago, a couple of months actually, deep within the Kiwi.
Arr, laddie, that'll be the flying island, held aloft by blasting winds, strongest in the entire Kiwi being, I tells you. It was home to an ancient civilization or two. Your old captain used to travel up there with a mate quite a lot in my younger days, you know. To find all kinds of hidden little treasures. Until he one day went alone and disappeared. Probably visited Davy Jones's locker. So, you're still sure? You still want to ship out there on your own and see it with your own eyes, lad? Aye, the adventurous spirit of a hatchling. Right, best not to wait too long then, lad. Let's get you on the water and paddling. But remember, don't get too close to the island's winds. They're stronger than Aunt Manger's chili. You might end up lost as well.
But of course, you didn't listen to the old geezer now, did you? You shipped out there on your little raft. You didn't pay attention, and you ended up on this dusty old island in the middle of the sky. And now, we are both stuck up here. You know, it's funny. I really wouldn't mind seeing that wrinkly old bird again, you know. We were even wanted in some parts of this world. Some people just don't have patience for that mischievous young spirit. Anyway, first, we need to finish this plane so we can get off this grubby island to begin with. Right, I keep working on the engine. You get out there and find us those ancient energy cells so we got something to power the plane with. Chop chop!
Alright, so we get dropped into it just as simple as that. This time, you may notice we're playing as Kiwi. Kiwi has this awesome little backpack that can transform into a propeller. I like him a lot. He can also stick into walls and climb them. I don't know. I really like playing as Kiwi a lot. So across these, I think there's 8 levels. There are 6 of these power cells in every level. 8 is tentative because I'm not sure I'm remembering right. 6 power cells per level, and we need 40 of them to unlock and fly the plane. And then we need 48 of them to unlock a little bonus area. But don't worry, we're going to be getting them all. We're going to be doing all the secrets. We're getting everything here. First thing I want to point out is this little typewriter. You can't really tell what it says there, but if you kind of finagle the camera, you can see it says Cabot Cove Mystery. You know, I'm not too sure what that's in reference to. You know, Murder, She Wrote takes place in Cabot Cove, and also it might be in reference to the Candle Cove Mystery, which was a creepypasta from years ago, so I'm not really sure. Every level has these little collectible gears. Well, I don't want to say every, but at least most levels also have the rings. This is kind of a collectathon. You know, you have different objectives every level, but every level there are 6 power cells to get. Even though, for some reason in the top left, it starts out by saying 0 out of 0. So you can also get damaged. Like, I believe this guy will walk into us, and yep, we'll take 1 damage. There are sentries all across these levels. Yeah, sentries. I think they're called ancient warriors. I don't know. I'll be calling them sentries, though, because that's kind of what they remind me of a little bit. Ooh, there's a a little palm tree there that had a ring over top of it, and it appears we got all the gears in this level, so there's a power cell for us. I don't know, it's kind of like a buckshot collectathon. It's going to be kind of quick, all of these levels. That on the wall there is a cheat code. Don't worry, you don't have to remember it. I'm going to be doing a section on the cheat codes, so you don't have to memorize them, write them down, you'll have to wait for them, but you can skip to them. I'll have the time in the description that'll tell you when I do the cheat codes if for some reason you were to only be interested in that or you just wanted to see what it looked like. So let's go ahead and shotgun some of these power cells. I don't know how great of a job I've done of describing, the power cells exactly, other than the fact, that there are 6 of them in every level, and, you have to collect, 48 of them? There are 50 in the entire game. Every level has a time trial on it as well. So this one is a lot more fast-paced, and you'll kind of see what I mean once we get into it. So let's do the first time trial, right? You can see in the bottom left you have an allotted amount of time to do the time trial in, as you might assume. And we have to collect all of the power cells in a level in order to beat the time trial. Now, the first level is pretty forgiving, pretty easy as far as the time trial is concerned. So as long as you kind of just focus the materials that you need to collect, you probably won't have too hard of a time with it. Looks like we've got one over here as well. Okay, let's go through and collect some of these. I feel like I'm kind of missing some of them. I have maps not maps like drawn out, but like a map in my head of the later levels for which there are time trials. Every level has a time trial. But I kind of have specific paths in mind for those levels. This one I didn't, because, we've got 20 seconds. Wherever that power cell spawned, we could have really dealt with. So, anyway, time trials, once we beat them, we get that little stopwatch here. Yeah, you can see it, a little golden stopwatch. And once we collect them all, we get another bonus level. So that is the first level completely done. We can move on to the second level now. Every 2 levels has a theme surrounding those 2 levels across the however many levels there are in the game. I'm going to say 8 in the base game, even though I'm not sure I remember right. There's the password, the cheat code password for this level as well. So, for these first 2 levels, the theme is kind of, like a forest. And you can see the recurring gears here as well as the rings, and not to mention, of course, the power cells, which, even if we didn't see gears for some reason, you could probably assume that we'll see power cells in every mission as well. For the missions that I have a path in mind for the speed run section of it, of that level, I'll probably take a very similar path as in my non-speed run section of it as well. So you can tell, we don't have any speed running that we actually have to do here. But I'm still taking almost an identical path to the one that I take whenever we have to do the time trial. So, and that's kind of, a little bit to warm up. There's only one of these levels that is like out and out. All right, sorry about that. I was saying, I believe that there's only one of these time trials that I really still struggle with, and maybe there's a better pathing for that level, and it's coming up here pretty soon, but I'm trying to maybe think of some simple tips and tricks. Basically, the pathing of all these maps for the time trials are pretty solid. I can't really think of too many ways you could tighten them up, although I'm not an expert on these games in any sense of the word. But your little dash attack that Kiwi has there that I just showed off, that can help you in a lot of different ways. Usually whenever there's a certain kind of elevation or no obstacles around. So, you don't want to get stuck in something, obviously, unless it's your intention to get stuck in something. But yeah, we're doing okay on time. We're not really knocking it out of the park or anything. I've made a few small mistakes here, but I think we're going to be able to tighten up the time right here with a new kind of skip. Before, I would normally just jump on that mushroom, but you don't even have to do that. also kind of sucks because some of your time gets eaten up by actually collecting these power cells. Oh, this is going to be a closey. Okay, we had 2 seconds to spare, more like 1.5. So that one was pretty close. Unlike the first one that we did, where we almost had, what was it, like 10, 15 seconds of breathing room. So that is it for the jungle themed levels. Now on to levels 3 and 4. These are kind of a little heavier on the, I don't know, mystic. It's this weird ancient civilization stuff that I think our parrot, the captain, the parrot, maybe that's a better way to say it, was talking about. He says how there's like these ancient civilizations. Also, there's the cheat code that lived on this island, which is really weird. Look at that eye there. That eye is actually seen on the submarine from MacBat 64. I don't really know how they're related. I'm kind of up in the air about it. I have a general. Again, this is the level that like I struggle with the time trial on still. This is the little trick I wanted to show you about climbing the stairs. You can continue to mash your dash attack and climb the stairs that way. So it's really nice. You can spam the dash attack, I guess I should say. Okay, now that raises the lava, which I'm trying to think actually now in retrospect why you would ever do, because I don't think you have to do it for anything. Huh. That's funny. I guess I should show. I think how you're intended to sort of do this area is to come over here and use this little heat spout. But I think I'm just going to not do that. I think I just I've said this before in my Let's Plays, but a lot of times just kind of speaking out loud helps me understand where the problem is in like my methodology. So that there is unavoidable, like to hit those and get that cutscene. But I have no idea why you would raise and lower this lava. Another thing I wanted to show about this ancient civilization, there's like this like woman that will appear, who appears to be kind of like these little sentries. I don't know, not like a guardian, but maybe some kind of like a religious reverence there. I don't even know about that either. You also may have noticed we picked up a little green key from one of the floating platforms that I didn't bother to mention. It's so small, but you need it to unlock a little door that was locked at the very beginning of this level. So let's go ahead and claim this power cell, and then right over here is where that green door is. So we break the crate, open her up, and we got the 6th power cell. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to show on this level before I kind of, leave. So we got the ancient warriors. We already climbed up through that. I do want to show out here surrounding like this area is like nothing but desert for kind of miles around. There's also one of those sentries down there that's kind of like not kneeled, but like it looks like he traveled a long way to get out here. I don't know. There's weird little things going on with the storytelling in this game that makes me kind of, I don't know, feel weird. Alright, so it's time for the time trial on this one, and with my new strategy of not pressing those buttons and not getting the lava raising and lowering cutscenes, I think we're in a heck of a position to actually beat this with no trouble, which this is the map that I was really concerned about doing the time trial for. So this is the path that I normally take, right? And I normally press those buttons, but seeing as how I've now realized that you don't really have to press those buttons for any reason, and they eat up like almost 10 seconds, I will not be doing that. I'll just be doing what I did the last time, which was glide over, and even if I couldn't stick my beak in the side of these flying platforms, I would still be able to land that jump anyway. And then we destroy these or hit these little targets. I guess we don't really destroy them, and I also don't have to hit that button there anymore, so that is saving me a crazy amount of time. Yeah, wow, no wonder I was struggling so much with this before. There's so many little skips that you can do. Wow, I normally come down here with like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds to spare or so. Okay, and we've got our 4th power cell, and we've just got a few more gears to pick up, and then we're good to go. 2 more power cells with like 10 seconds to spare. Holy moly. Yeah, normally by this time I'm like just barely making it. Yeah, no way. If I did the cutscenes, that was so sloppy that I would have definitely lost that one. So that is my new and improved route for that. Huh, cool. So that's the 3rd level done, and again, these are the desert levels. So this is another desert level. Once again, we have the eye from the submarine. I think I definitely showed you guys a picture last time. That's something I want to be sure to edit in. And then there was something else that I wanted to show you guys. Oh yes, that's later in the game once we play the DLC. Right. I also do think it's really weird that all of the levels say 0 out of 0 power cells until you collect each one. This is another desert. Like I had mentioned before, I just kind of wanted to show, like with the camera panning, you can look all around and see, like, you know, we're surrounded by desert. I do think way out in the distance there's like one of the skulls that, you know, we've come to see in a couple Siactro games as well. I don't think there's anything special about it. I don't think it means anything. What I think it means is that, like, they're just reusing assets, and I don't see a reason not to do it, but, you know, I'm kind of if lore in my name and my username wasn't enough, I'm a really big exposition guy, so, you know, I like looking to see if there's any kind of a connection that can be drawn between, you know, the games. And this game, man, I'm kind of losing track of it, where it is in the Toree releases, but I think this game was released after Toree 3D and after Toree 2, so that's where it is on the release schedule. So it would at least be around for the, you know, the skulls. Like, those skulls would have appeared in Toree 3D and Toree 2. Okay, and we're very nearly done with this level, if you can believe it, because all of these kind of come all at once here at the end. So there's the first power cell, and then we got back-to-back-to-back power cells. So there's 1, 2, and here's the final one, the 6th one. This is also really interesting. You can see there's like those sentry guys I've been talking about, ancient warriors, who have these spears kind of through them, right? And then at the very top you can see this is the guy who put the spear through them, evidently. I wonder if this guy really likes, like, telling a little story instead of like one big overarching story. Like his 2 levels generally kind of tell a story, or at least the environment in those 2 levels tells a story. There's nothing really special to remember whenever you do the time trial for this one. It's pretty easy. Well, don't miss that gear there on your first go through. We ate up about a second there, maybe almost 2 seconds, that you can't really afford many mistakes. But yeah, this is a pretty simple one. You know, as long as you do the level fairly efficiently, there's no specific pathing to this one. Well, you know, outside of what I did the last time. Okay, there was another small mistake. We're at 40 seconds. I think I like to be about finished with this going up nonsense here at about a minute, maybe. We're up to 55, almost. Ooh, okay, that saved us a little bit of time there. And then I just, like, fall down here, do the little drill. Okay, a minute 03. We're still doing good. Yeah, I did want to mention I am not going to be playing the original Kiwi 64. I finally played it the other day for the first time, and it was really short and not very good. It is very pretty, as all Siactro games are. If I can say nothing else for it, it was pretty, but okay. And so, once again, we just have to collect these 3 power cells, 2, and the 6th one. Perfect. And then pick up the little golden stopwatch as we leave, and that is the desert levels already finished as well. Wow, we've got some of the biggest hurdles out of the way. So we've got, what, 24 power cells in total. This one is a little bit eerie in nature. So once again, we have these little sentry characters around. You don't have to kill them in this level. You have, like, these faces that have some kind of, it almost looks like weird writing on them. Some things you can attach to, like, these walls, but those faces you couldn't, which I think are also doors. This level features these like gates that are turned on and off with switches with a little fetus, a weird fetus thing. So that one there is red now. And then we can hit it again. So you kind of get the idea of like how this puzzle's going. Honestly, whenever you run into an obstacle and you like, you know, you can't progress any further, then you just hit the fetus. I don't know how else to describe it. But to continue forward out of this basic area, the first area. So this level is basically broken down into like two pretty simple segments. Like this one down here you would be locked into until you got your key, and then you can use the key to continue forward. And then the rest of the level is pretty linear. I don't know why I tried to hit that fetus. You really don't want to do that there. Not yet anyway. You do have to hit these buttons to unlock these doors. I'm not sure if I'm doing them in the opposite order where you would normally be able to see the doors open one by one. Here is the cheat code for, you know, this area. This is another area where the speed run segment of it is not really that difficult. It's another really linear sort of area. I think the second half of this pair of levels it is a little bit more difficult. Also, this segment here, as long as you know the like dive dash or whatever you might call that move there, it doesn't matter. But where you do the dash attack and you go forward, if you know it for that segment, you're going to save yourself so much time. It's such a time saver, especially on this level. Not many segments not many levels with that kind of have that kind of segment in it. Same thing kind of here. Don't like get too caught in the weeds on just avoiding that attack. You have 4 hits that you're able to take, so you also don't have to change that. I don't really know why I did that. Don't worry, we'll get the pathing all kinds of tightened up whenever it comes time to you know, do the little time trial of this level. So I'm thinking we are on level 5 of 8 right now. And this is one of those games that sort of seems short and also seems long. I like this here at the end too. That guy looks kind of weird and eerie. And from here, we just dive down, and whenever we land on that will be our 6th and final power cell that we have to grab. Okay, we're on my 3rd attempt of this time trial. I have just been not really struggling with this, which is funny because you have like a pretty big margin of error in this level of all levels. But I don't know. I've just been goofing it up a couple of times here and there. I forgot to get that key in the first run. I forgot to, well, I was kind of goofing up, like attacking that fetus on that side over there a couple of times. It was, oh man, it's been a nightmare, but we're pretty well on easy street for a little bit now. Again, the cutscenes are kind of what give us a little bit of extra time as far as the, like you'll notice this is probably the level with which we have the most time so far to do the time trial. Of course, you might expect that in a level that's kind of as big as this one, and also kind of has the cutscenes that this one has. Missing that there a couple of times is, you know, not great, but being able to do that dive dash that I've been talking about is going to save us some time. Don't jump here. It adds to the amount of time actually that you fall through that there. We're just going to dash right on up that hill and continue on forward. That's the second key. I got lost here once before, like going up those mushrooms. That was another time, not here recently, but the first time that I ever played this level where I sort of struggled with that. I don't know why you need these keys, but I assume that you do. You know, I've never not gotten these keys and then tried the door there. So, but again, I assume you need them to continue forward. Anyway, it still looks like, despite the cutscenes and despite the kind of, you know, little goof ups I've had so far, we're still in the market to win this one kind of handily. So what, we grab all 5 of these, and then as long as we land in kind of the right place, we really don't have any trouble. Nice. We completed that one with 7 seconds to spare, which isn't the highest amount of time that we've had left, but it is still pretty sizable. Now to the 6th level. Again, another pair of kind of mystical, eerie levels. The pathing for this one is, you know, pretty linear as well. There's only really like one kind of right way to do it, I guess, until you get to the very end. Also, this level features some kind of useless fetuses. In the last level, they opened and closed things that we needed to do, but in this level, well, not really. Also, the password for this level is, you know, these coffins each have like a number. Well, one of the symbols assigned to them, and then you follow those going up. I forget if it's bottom to top or top to bottom. Again, I have all the cheat codes kind of wrote down, so we can also skip a little bit here. We don't have to necessarily go in. Well, the DLC is going to be another, or DLC, like the bonus levels in this one are going to be a lot of the same too, where we're able to sort of skip some of the more challenging segments just by virtue of being able to fly. That's one of the things I really love about Kiwi is his fly, his dash, his fly, and being able to stick in the walls make him kind of a joy to play as far as like a platformer is concerned. MacBat, still a lot of fun. Original Kiwi, I guess that's a good comparison for it. You still have the dive attack, like where you, in this game, anytime you hit X, you're propelled forward, but in the first Super Kiwi 64, that was not the case. You actually just did this like little roundhouse kick. This here, you'll have to go back and forth across this bridge a couple of times, so I try to break as little as possible whenever I go across it, just to ensure that I can, you know, go back and forth. It's really only super important whenever you go to it's really only super important whenever you actually go to do the speed run for this segment. This should be the last ring, and then 4 more of these gears. Okay, there we go. 2 more of those gears. Sorry, I miscounted. This has been a kind of all over the place Let's Play, but outside of what I've cut, it's been nothing but successful and forward moving. So, alright, so that is 6 power cells. Let's go in and do it again, but faster this time. So we've got 2 minutes and 5 seconds, which actually ties us with the amount of time that the last level had for its time trial. So that's kind of nifty. Again, just going to kind of skip any of these, and they aren't even difficult, but even though they are a minimum challenge, I would just like to skip any and all challenge, you know, for the opportunities that we're afforded to do just that. I'm trying to think what else I could say. I know that this is kind of more eerie than the last couple ones we've done, and I don't really know like a story connection necessarily. The skeletons are featured in a lot of levels, and you know, they usually stick out because the rest of the level will be like mostly green or yellow or orange, and the skeletons will obviously stick out because they're purple and like dark menacing colors versus the, oh man, I missed it. Okay, oh man, I missed it again. Oh, can we recover though is the question. All right, we'll give it a good college ball try. I think there's enough time in this whole time trial segment for this level. Maybe this will be like a good, like, after all the skips and everything, can we still do it? And if not, you know, obviously I'll just cut in a more successful, you know, later part of this level. So this will leave us at 4 power cells, right? Yeah. Well, no, not power cells, I guess, because we still have the one at the top to get, and then we have 2 more to kind of unlock, don't we? No, we have one that's over on top of the statue. That's right. Okay. So we head back, we get the power cell. The ring is the last one that we have to get over there. Oh, 20 seconds. I don't know if we can do it. It's going to be really close. Coming down. Ooh, I don't know. This is going to be probably just about as close as you can cut it on one of these things. 10 seconds. Oh, nah, I don't think we got it. I really don't. Well, shoot. Let's see what our time would have been, and then, of course, I'll cut in the correct time. Alright, so we fucked up by 2 seconds. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, close your eyes and imagine I didn't fall off that platform like adult before, and oh man, now open them. Hey, look, we didn't fall off the platform. What a dummy you'd have to be to do that. And we schooled this one by about 10 seconds. Wow. Alright, so on to the 7th and 8th level. I like these theme a little bit better. It's funny, my least favorite level, that being this one, I think, and my most favorite level probably being the next one. It's funny that they're kind of in the same, you know, swinging range, maybe you would call it. There's the cheat code for this area. We'll open that bad boy up and get our next power cell. And then yeah, just gears to collect like usual. The reason I don't really like this level, it's really dark, and the first time I played this level, it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Not the darkness, but I had trouble finding the collectibles and even really understanding what I was supposed to do. So, which is going to become, like, you know, kind of apparent, at least what the trouble I had with it was. So there we go. That is, we raise like this little robot up out of the water, and then we climb up here, so we're at 2 out of 6. Now what we need to do is just drop down to where you might have noticed there was you know, some hidden power cells earlier, some gears, a ring, same normal stuff. This is a really condensed map, and the time trial for this one thankfully isn't all that difficult, so I kind of appreciate that. We have to hit these 3 buttons that are all around this robot. That's the second one, and then the third one's over here. I kind of fucked up our ordering just because I wanted to show like where all of the robot buttons specifically are. Yeah, so we climb that, and then we've got a ring here to press as well, and that's all three of the little power cores for this level ready to be collected. 1, and then a 2, and then that third one. And I have a better pathing for this whenever it comes time to actually do the time trial, but we can afford to be a little bit sloppy here while that is not the case. Oh look, there's another one of the statues. I didn't even necessarily want to show that off, I just happened to notice it now. Okay, let's go get this time trial. Similar pathing, but not the exact same as before. Yeah. I don't really know what much else I can say about this time trial. It still is challenging. You can land on top of this chest, and so you can kind of skip the animation and redo your landing at the same time. I find that, well, it doesn't skip the animation. It still plays, of course, but, like, you know, more stuff is happening that you'll have to do anyway, like falling to the ground so you can re-jump, and you get a dash whenever you land. So I don't know that any of this is clicking. I almost feel like I've been in a fugue state. Funnily enough, one of the few times that I've ever felt like that and just not been sick. My health is doing very well now. I'm glad we got out of the little sick phase I was in there for a little bit. That was mostly a September thing where I was just, oh my god, I felt sick constantly. But we're done and over with that. Again, we fall down off the top there, so we can land on this side and grab the, you know, a couple of collectibles that are nearby. So I said I'm going to change up the pathing for this this little segment here. It's not, you know, worlds and away different or anything. We just hit the ring first, and then we hit the button so that we don't have to backtrack, you know, get everything done while we're up here. Then we have a gear, the last one, of course, and then we hit the last button, which gives us the last power cell. This really isn't that difficult. You can kind of land in the difficulty by trying to get on top of this skeleton, and I do anticipate sort of struggling with it still. It has some really shitty physics to it that makes it really hard to climb, but it's just the nature of like how it sort of is like angled a little bit. One of the few segments in the game where it's not like a flat wall you're climbing, it kind of curves in a specific direction. Oh, I forgot to see what Lansbury said there. Let's go ahead and talk to him. I keep forgetting about that. For this one, you get an extra boost from me. So you see we have 1 propeller, and while we're in this level, we have 3 propellers, so we move a lot quicker. Again, you know, have a specific kind of pathing in mind. You generally move quicker if you don't do dashes, so you only want to do dashes under very specific circumstances in this level. This is kind of, again, not the exact pathing that I plan on doing for this level, but pretty similar. I forget if we have to hit all of these in one sort of go. Yeah, it does look like it, so I've already kind of fucked that segment up. Alright. Yeah, and I just got through saying that the dash slows you down more than anything. Never listen to yourself. Okay, this is another sort of interesting map in that there are those little sentry guys all around it too, like right here. I don't really understand what he's doing, but a cool little detail I guess I can talk about. It looks like he has wires kind of outside of him, so it's like a mechanical kind of, well, you know, I wanted to say monster sort of instinctually. I think I've just been saying monster a little bit too much lately. But, you know, he's not a mechanical golem I guess maybe this is the better sort of terminology. Looks like you have to go through all these in kind of one go. I'm not too aware of it. Again, whenever we do the time trial for this, it'll be a lot. It has to be a lot faster and a lot more cleaned up. So the first time that we do these levels, it's more or less like the tour, and then whenever, you know, once we're done with a level, then it's kind of go mode for it to do the time trial. And I'm really appreciating that, like, so far I haven't supremely like struggled with any of the time trials. I'm really in this game kind of for the DLC too, because I like the little bonus Doomsday level that was eventually included with this game. That one's a lot of fun. Okay, so there is, oh man, the power core. Hopefully we don't do that whenever that whenever that's comes back again. I think it dropped because I didn't have 2 feet planted on that chip. So am I missing? Oh, I'm missing a key. Hold up, what did I fuck up? Oh, the key on top of the sub. Duh. Okay, again, don't worry, we'll have this all cleaned up for the little speed runish attempt. I have sort of a map in my mind for this one as well. So inside of the dark skull cavern, there's our last power cell, and along with the last power cell is the last out of the main levels. We've got our last little time trial to do here as well. Not difficult, really, in the least bit. Again, I'm still dashing even though I don't need to. This has a very awkward time trial of 1 minute and 48 seconds. So they must have did a little bit of play testing to sort of calculate this one instead of just the straight 205 from the last two, or not the last level, but the mystical levels anyway. I'm sure this was all play tested. I'm just kind of, you know, talking the talk, I suppose. Let's go this way, actually. I kind of have forgotten my pathing just a little bit here, but not enough that it should really screw us over. Okay, and we go up these elevators, and I kind of forget whether it's the gears. I think it's the rings that cause it to spawn on top of cause the power cell to spawn on top of the submarine. Okay, so that's all of the... No. It was the rings that caused the power cell to spawn on top of the submarine. So then we have this key, and there are both power cells, and we got the last gears there. We're doing good enough on time that, you know, it's not too worrisome. We just can't afford to do anything dumb like fall off of this little airship or anything. And, you know, it would just be a simple little mistake, but again, one that we can't really afford, just as I do it. Oh well, at least I don't have to get on top of the ship like I was trying to do earlier. So that is the 5th power cell, and all we have to do is slingshot right into this power cell. And there's the last little time golden stopwatch. This is kind of a little interesting part because it unlocks a bonus Toree level. It doesn't, I don't think it unlocks anything for us. You can just see Toree here. Something about this scares me, says Lansbury. Yeah, you just play as Toree. I can't escape this motherfucker no matter what fucking Siactro game I'm playing. There are 111 stars, which instead of me just collecting them to unlock bonus characters like we did in the actual Toree games, you actually need to collect all the stars to unlock the exit to this level. So, and we're already like a third of the way there. The Toree bonus level really isn't, like, it doesn't overstay its welcome, but it also it really doesn't have a purpose either. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I think there was also a Toree level that was included in the Beanie. I think that's the name of the game, where you play as a bee in one of the Siactro games. And I don't think that unlocked anything either. I'm not sure though, but it's kind of cool to go from, you know, just playing as Kiwi the whole time to playing as this Toree again. I guess now that we recognize him, you know. Alright, we're about 2/3 of the way there, and yeah, the rest of this level is like, you know, still simple. Like, this whole level is simple. Again, it doesn't really have a purpose. You're not really doing anything. You're back in the forest for whatever that means to you, I guess. 99 out of 111, 5 out of 111. And then you get up to here and you're like, oh man, am I missing any? Nope, they're right here in the coffin. There you go. And that is all there is to do in that level. And it kicks you all the way back out to the menu, which is really, really weird. I think what I want to do is do the final sort of cutscene, which I might have to cut my voice for because it has the voices. I know it says we have 0 power cells, but don't worry. And we only need 40 to power the plane. So
Lansbury?
Captain,
It's been 30 years.
actually, it's been barely 10.
Really? Anyway, how haven't you visited Davy Jones's locker yet?
Got a bit of help from your young feathery friend over there.
Aye, he's a good lad. Does anyone want to join me for a fruit salad tea? I can't wait to hear all the exciting adventures you two have been through.
Actually, it was rather cozy. Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. Oh, the adventures. You have no idea. So many adventures. Are you buying?
alrighty, so that is that, at least as far as an ending is concerned. We still have cheat codes to do though, and I did a little bit of cutting there in that ending just so, you know, you weren't kind of stuck watching too many things that weren't all that relevant. So this level is locked until you get all 48 power cells that are available in the other levels. It features this like weird little burning area along with this sentry here, and it also has the fetuses from that level. You can't hit these and turn them into anything. I don't understand their purpose at all. You can't really do too much around here. You can just like bounce on those, but something that you can do, there's a power cell. You also have these new little symbols that we've noticed around all the levels, and they give us little cheat codes. So I'm going to go through them one at a time. There's 8 in total. The first cheat code is the Lansbury cheat code, and it is, if you remember them by numbers, it is 2, 4, 3, 5, 1, and it turns us into little Lansbury here. Now, most of these cheat codes kind of override one another, so, you know, if you, wow, you can just fly around too. So if you enter in another one that would like change you, it changes you to the like the next one. So I don't have to re-put in the Lansbury cheat code, for example. The next one is the Big Kiwi cheat code, and it is 4, 1. Let's see, that's a 2, and then a 5. And then a 3, and that is the Big Kiwi cheat code. It actually doesn't change your hitbox. You can still be hit sort of at weird angles and stuff, but, you know, it makes your model big, so that's kind of cute. Alright, the next one is the one that turns you into one of those guardians, the things that I've been calling a sentry. Yep, and it turns you right into him, and you've even got like the little fucked up arm. You know, again, your hitbox sort of stays similar. Man, I don't really know what much else I can say about that. Let's see. We can also turn into a fetus. Let's do, that is 5, 4. I have it wrote down here. Man, 1, 3, 2. Okay, so now we're a fetus. You can see kind of like the other fetuses over here, or from that level that we were in before. Not really too crazy interesting or anything, but, you know, just kind of like a model test almost. Okay, let's turn into a power cell next. This is, what is that number? That is a 3, 1, 4, 5, and a 2. and that turns us into a power cell. Pretty simple, but, you know, still pretty cool. The next cheat code actually isn't going to override. It is 3, 5, 1, 2, 4, and it turns moon gravity. Oh, I guess it does override. Oh, well. Moon gravity. Kind of interesting, at least as far as jumping is concerned, and I guess gliding too. You could probably glide for a really long time with this. Shame that there isn't really any secrets or anything to be seen with all this different gliding and moon jumping and all this stuff. So what is next? Let's do the first person mode, which I'm going to assume also overrides. Let's see, that is 2, 1, 3, 5, and then 4. First person mode is kind of trippy, you know. Just makes it so that you're in first person. Very weird. Now, I had said before most of these kind of override one another, but you can also just turn them off by re-entering them. I'm re-entering in now the moon gravity password 351241 to 4. Wow, the first person is also really tripping me out. Okay, well, I don't know why it was still giving us the moon gravity. Let me try it again. 3, 5, 1, 2, and then finally 4. Wow, that just really is just not turning off, huh? Oh well, let me cut and I'll be right back. Oh well, I wasn't able to turn it off. I bet if I turned my game off and back on again I could, but I'm not going to do that right now. We have a bonus level. This is 1, 3, 2, 5, 4, and this is what's going to give us the last little power cell that we have to grab, and this is from the original I almost said Toree 64. This is from the original Super Kiwi 64. It looks like most of the NPCs and stuff are all around. There really isn't a ton to see. There was like this here, which I think was supposed to be a reference to the Stop and Swap mystery eggs. This guy had a little quest. I'm going to show maybe like at least this guy in action here on the screen. So you can sort of see, you know, what this level was. There were like different little weird collectibles and stuff, but really nothing too interesting. It was, again, very talented, at least as far as, the looks of the game, but like gameplay wise, it wasn't really all that fun. It just kind of goes to show how far this guy has come. You can see here's a little Kiwi, the Kiwi from the first game. Looks quite a bit different. You know, we have goggles and stuff now. He's a little bit smaller, I think. But there's the power cell. Also in conjunction with that, in this level, Out of Bounds, there are a lot of secrets. Let me just try and maybe land at about half appropriately. I guess we'll... Oh, man. I know some of the stuff around here looks eerie, but don't worry. None of it can hurt you or anything. Let's start with this one. This I talked about in MacBat 64. There's a little shootinator, bonus cabinet or whatever. And this is what it is in this game anyway. Super Kiwi 64. Coming up, we have a TARDIS from the Doctor Who series. I don't know, I'm not a Doctor Who guy, but for those who are, there is a TARDIS. Coming up on what I believe is the last little secret is this weird looking, I don't know, it looks like a cat face sort of thing to me, but people say it's apparently like the Holy Diver Dio album. I'm not, again, super familiar with Dio or this cat or anything, but it should be on the screen for you to see now. And that's that. Let's go ahead and get started with the DLC next. Okay, so here is the DLC selection screen, or the scene where you can pick which levels you want to do and stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and select the DLC, and there's another voiced cutscene. We'll be back after that.
The dimension of the dead. An enclosed space where every living thing goes after its time in the realm of the living is over. It exists far away from our reality. Under the watchful eye of the Guardian, none of the ghosts and ghouls can escape. Reality is at peace. However, a looming shadow from the past is about to change all of this.
Kiwi, is that you? I did not expect to get two of you for the price of one. It's been a while, hasn't it? You have to be a tiny bit patient, though. First, I got some really nasty things planned for your little bat friend, I am sorry. Now, away with you.
Alright, so now we can hop into the game proper. What a cool bunch of exposition. So that little guardian guy, well, let's hop into a level first and we'll talk about him. That little guardian guy looks a lot like Glitchy, doesn't he? As we're kind of climbing here, I want to show a picture of the two of them kind of side by side. I'll do a good edit of a picture of them side by side. And yeah, they look pretty similar to one another, don't they? I think they're related in terms of the story, almost undoubtedly. He even has the same scar as Glitchy does on his little chest. So I think kind of almost undoubtedly they're, one and the same. I just don't know that that'll ever get addressed. Kind of cool shit. This is almost like a prequel-ish kind of thing. Some other things to kind of point out. This is City 64. I think we already have seen like some... like little digital things of like there's Toree down there on a neon sign. That's from the little parrot and alligator game. Again, I think it's called something in Maxwell. I can't remember it. We have new collectibles to collect here. These are like little power gems or whatever. I'm not sure. I guess you probably have to get all of them to unlock the last level or whatever. I'm trying to think, is there any more exposition? The Melon King is back. He's always a bad guy. He is, captured our good friend Macbat, which is kind of sad. Let's see. Did I miss anything kind of climbing up here? Oh, yes, I almost did. Almost did indeed. There's this little segment over here that we want to do because it's not nearly as involved as the other segment. Let's see. Is there... I think we're good off of this. Yep, we can continue on to the other side. We've got 4 out of 10 gems. This place, it's not eerie, but it does have a notable lack of music. Like, I didn't just up and turn the music off for some weird reason. Yeah, there's only like this weird track of like wind blowing and, well, not even rain, even though it's kind of raining, but it does kind of sound like, whenever just kind of water slop is falling off of a roof. That's what it sounds like in this level. Melon King's back. Macbat captured. We have new gems to collect, and the Guardian looks like Glitchy. Did I cover all my bases appropriately? I think I did. Where to next? Probably right over there, right? Oh, I also see a crystal here. Don't want to miss that. What I generally do is like a good rule of thumb for climbing this area. If you climb it and you feel like you've missed anything at all, you have to go all the way down to exit the level and get that like last crystal there anyway, once you get all the rings. So if you missed anything, you can just get it on your way back down. Like if I forgot those gears for whatever reason, I can just like, pay attention on my way down and get them as I'm kind of going down. So there's the last 2 gems that will be down there. And we've got 2 gems up here, and this will bring us to 8, and then those 2 at the bottom should bring us to 10 in total. This, I like. It's funny. I don't really like this level, but I do like this better than the other second half of the bonus levels. It's funny. The bonus levels, not very good in my opinion. Just my wholehearted, brutal opinion, I guess. But I really, really like the final stage. All right, so we'll have a cutscene again.
What? Is this going to be a failed coup attempt again? What's the difference to the last time you guys tried this?
The difference...
Huh?
is a lot more laser guns.
Who are you?
I am your stand-in. Upper management thought you might need a vacation. Allow me to introduce myself. They call me Melon King, former ruler of countries, future destroyer of realities.
Wait, I remember you. You were the guy who got defeated by Macbat.
Well, yes and no. I am him, but better. I am a robot clone with laser guns and magical powers!
A robot clone? Is this about revenge or something?
Indeed, by helping the deceased escape your little prison, I'll make sure Kiwi Land will succumb to chaos. That'll teach them!
Interesting. Sounds like the perfect plan for Macbat to spoil again.
Okay, I have had just about enough of this. Get him out of my sight! And find me that bat! He isn't particularly wrong, you know!
Okay, weird little cut there at the end. Anyway, yeah, I didn't realize I jumped the gun on saying that the Guardian had like a what do they call it? Like a scar or whatever on his chest. Didn't realize I jumped the gun on that a little bit, but I guess that's okay. Can't be fixed now. So, same bunch of collectibles, gears, rings. This kind of features a new kind of collectible, destroyable, whatever you want to call it, in that those little moon rock things are floating around that we have to destroy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm kind of maybe missing, because a lot happened in that cutscene. Something I kind of assume. The Melon King says that he is like a robot copy of the original Melon King. I kind of assume that is for one of two reasons. One, either the Melon King is dead and the robot Melon King is here to disrupt death and bring the original Melon King back to life. That's reason number one in my head. Reason number two, I think that like I've kind of made mention, and if you're just dropping into me playing the Siactro games now, well, there's a kind of overarching story, weird story going on between the games that I'm kind of trying to follow, but there's not like a ton that I can really say about it, but there's a lot of weird references to like life and death and all these creepy little like glitchy little things to do between the games, like whether there are like entities in these games that are like mystical, or whether there are entities in this game that are like super hyper technological. It's not really explored, but that's just to do us a little brief recap here. And so, is it maybe that like glitchy changing these things between life and death is changing things between life and death in the real world, and it's doing like some kind of hyper mysticism and bringing somebody who's like real life back to life by doing this? I don't know. Is it entirely contained within the game, this story, or is it actually like partially in real life? Like, I'm kind of thinking of maybe a little bit like Shipwreck 64. I don't know. It's weird to kind of say, but that's about all that I can say about it at this point, because we don't really know. Again, kind of sorry that I jumped the gun as far as, saying that he had a little scar on him before he had it, but we're all caught up to it now, him being the Guardian, as he's called. Where to next? I know we've, of course, got all kinds of gears around, all kinds of stuff that we still have to do. I said that this is my least favorite of the two, and I wonder if that's literally just because it's longer. Hope not. So for this segment here, we can jump on top of this train whenever it kind of comes back by. It travels the length of the train tracks, of course, and we have to destroy this brain in order to get another crystal. They kind of collect those crystals like over there, so I'm just going to go way out of my way and do all these other ones, and then I'll collect all those that are in a batch way back there later. Alright, so in this graveyard, there's a crystal grave. You just destroy the grave itself. I also like Kiwi here because he's got like little sunglasses and the hat. Also, you can kind of notice instead of one turbine on his back, he now has 3, like in that bonus level that we played. Also, this is a kind of weird mishmash of some of the other creatures from other levels too, like this bird that was from the forest level and that skull from the desert level. So a lot of really weird kind of small storytelling elements that are all out there that whenever I bring them together, I still don't really have an answer. So okay, I think that is all of the gems maybe that, so like I collect that one and then I have 2 down here. Oh, and there's a third one coming up. And I am missing one, evidently. Give me just a second, and I'll try and find whichever one I'm missing. 1 second. Oh, I see what I missed there in the background. One last moon rock to break, and then, oh, the gem is back where we were before. Alright, and then I think we might have a cutscene as I enter the final kind of stage, but I don't remember that for sure. So alright, we got the final little crystal. That's 20 out of 20, 10 out of 10 for the level. There's Shootinator again from at least MacBat 64. I don't know if it was in any of the other games, but that has been that. And now time, after we have all 20 of these crystals, to enter the final stage. Okay, it doesn't look like we actually have a cutscene just yet, but that is a-okay. We have the Guardian here who looks very injured. He's like, oh man, he's captured our buddy MacBat, and we have to stop the Melon King and save MacBat. Honestly, I don't really like the voice actors in this game like a bunch, but I really like something about the Guardian I actually kind of like a little bit. So we have some HP to spare here, not a ton. We can skip some of the more annoying segments by sticking our nose in these like outer walls, which I do kind of like. It feels about half intentional, half not. Same way with like these little tentacle things here. They can hurt you, but you can just skip right past them by flying around them. I like that a lot. So we've got a little brain coming up here that we'll have to break to unlock another segment of the game. You can see there's a big ass skull. It's on like this like warp here in the background. Kind of reminds me of a skull from the Toree 2 game. Okay, so we have unlocked another segment over here, another part of this level. I keep saying segment a bunch. It must just be my word of the Let's Play. It has some weird paintings all around it, and then once we actually get over here, you can see there are a bunch of cutouts of Toree and one big painting kind of in the background. Wow, I missed it twice. Oh well. And then you can see our little buddy, not Toree, MacBat is knocked out. We'll have to, break all of these little cutouts of MacBat to, collect our little buddy, MacBat. Alrighty, so he's on our back now, and it looks like he retained his little extra flying power from the MacBat 64, and he can fly us all around the level now. He's got like little wings, and we basically have infinite jump now. So at least this segment here kind of becomes superfluous. You don't have to worry about anything in it. This is more or less like just a guiding path. You don't have to thread the needle like I'm doing. So this has like this kind of field all around it, and we have like a little chained moon thing. That laser will hurt you if you step into it. I find the best way to go about it is to just hit it and then land, because you can only attack once in the air, and it considers you to still be in the air. So like I'm pressing the attack button, it's doing nothing for me. But the field is gone, and now time for the finale. There's the big bad Melon King, the mechanical metal king, and it's time for the ultimate 2v1. So he has these little segments where he, he has these little phases where he'll attack you with a laser. I find it best to just stay on the ground. Don't fly unless you have to, because it resets your attack meter quicker. And then once you get a few good attacks in, just run away, because his little field that he does there too will hurt you as well. As long as you go into the phase where, there are these swinging axes with about 3 Kiwis, you'll be fine. You can do it in 2, but oh man, I accidentally, there's a button to lock the camera, and I have yet to find out what it is on the controller, but I have found out that I can fix it by hitting LT. So okay, so he is now the digital, he's now like the more robotic Melon King, and it's time for, phase 2 with all these swinging axes all around. Pretty similar to stage 1. He will stop moving whenever it's, time for him to hit us with the laser, and he drops his shield. We really, I think, only have to do one more good round of attacks on him, and then he's dead. And then there'll be a cutscene for which I'll be quiet for, of course, once again. But the Macbat and Kiwi crew won again.
It's over! The dimension barrier is almost destroyed! There is nothing you can do anymore! Reality itself will collapse!
Thanks, you two! Without your help, reality would be in shambles right now. I can't imagine how much hate that Melon must have had in him to create an apocalyptic robot copy of himself. Oh well, you stopped it. That is all that matters. Now, time to get you two back home. Unless I could invite you onto a trip through different dimensions. If you're interested, it's the least I could do to thank you. Haha, okay, alright! Next stop, wherever you want to go!
And so our entire world was saved by two little heroes. The dead were stopped from leaking out of the afterlife, and the Melon King's schemes were once and for all stopped. Reality was finally at peace. For real this time.
Wow, how cute and how surreal that kind of was. What a fun little game. But that's been the DLC and the main game. I love the Guardian a lot as a character. He's really cool. I'm interested to see if they do like a hard line into kind of exposition around him and Glitchy and all that stuff. The Melon King's been stopped. Kiwi and Macbat are, their adventurous spirit is won over again, and they're going to continue to adventure for forever. I'll see you all in the next game, says Siactro, and I will see you all next week, says Dr. Dirk. Later.